The Unnamable is finally getting a Blu-ray release from Unearthed Films this month. This 80s cult classic has never even gotten a DVD release in the United States before, so the Blu-ray is long overdue. Now let me address something that has come up about this release. There's been reports that there is a flaw with the new 5.1 surround sound audio track. I can confirm that the reports are indeed true. Some sound effects are repeated on the audio track. For example, this can obviously be pretty distracting if you're watching it with the 5.1 surround audio track. This is unfortunate, but thankfully the 2.0 mono track is fine. The mono track is crisp and clear, so I had no issues while watching the movie. I will update this video if and when Unearthed Films releases a statement on the audio issue. Okay, now on to the review. I first watched The Unnamable as a kid in the early 90s. My friend and I each chose a horror movie from the local video store. I can't for the life of me remember which movie I chose. I just remember that my friend chose this one. That old VHS tape promised an uncut version, so we were pretty excited to see it. I remember loving the movie as a kid and being enamored by the gore and creature effects. The Unnamable begins in the past with an old man trying to calm a screaming beast in the dark.
It's all right.
This film was based on an old H.P. Lovecraft story, and the Lovecraft staple of indescribable creatures and gothic horrors are well presented throughout the film. So the creature finally gets tired of the old man's crap and decides to rip his heart out. He's quickly buried while the evil creature looks on. Years later, we have a college student, Carter, relaying the story to a couple classmates. Right off the bat, I always liked Carter. He's weird and kind of an ass, but he's also smart and well played by Mark Kinsey Stevenson.
I wonder as to what unmentionable nourishment those roots must be sucking from that tomb.
So after the setup of the old house being haunted by an indescribable or unnamable beast, we get down to the main story. A couple of frat guys right out of 80s Central Casting invite a few college girls to hang out in the old creepy house. Meanwhile, Carter's buddy Howard is worried about their classmate from earlier in the film. He's missing after exploring the creepy house by himself the night before, so they both decide to head to the house themselves to check things out. So now the main plot is finally set, with the movie essentially being a slasher movie set in an old abandoned house. I don't say that dismissively. Slasher movies are my favorite horror films, and this one has a great premise. So we have some scenes with the characters wandering around the house and trying to scare each other. They eventually pair off, which leads us to a bizarre scene with one guy channeling his inner Harvey Weinstein and chasing the girl around the room.
Come on.
I guess he's drunk, which is supposed to explain his crazed behavior.
Stop it!
Oh, damn.
He finally settles down and we have a scene of character development, which is nice after his rape attempt. So the beast eventually makes its presence known and starts killing in effectively gory ways.
Oh my god, John.
Like the old VHS tape I saw those many years ago, this Blu-ray is fully uncut. Good stuff. So Carter and Howard finally show up and they all get trapped in the house with the beast stalking them. Carter eventually finds the Necronomicon.
The Necronomicon.
No, not that one. And discovers the secrets of the beast. This actually explains a plot hole that was bugging me for most of the movie. Why did the beast just stay in the house for 100 years or whatever? Well, it's because the old man cast a spell that kept it trapped in the house. Hey, it works. The beast is kept in the shadows and shown sparingly until the end. This is great, but they plastered it all over the posters and video covers back then, so it isn't much of a surprise. Still, it looks pretty cool. It's creepy and imposing with its hooved feet, claws, and howl. In the end, Carter uses a spell for the trees to come to life and take the beast away. Although the ending is a bit abrupt, it's still pretty effective. Plus it leads nicely into the excellent sequel with Carter and Howard both returning. And I really do have to mention the awesome 80s tune that plays over the end credits. Pretty catchy. The Unnamable was directed by Jean-Paul Olé, who is a bit clunky at times with the direction and pacing. There are probably a few too many scenes of characters wandering around in the dark, but it wasn't much of a problem. I love the lighting throughout the film with the blues and reds. It reminds me of Dean Cundey's work, who was the director of photography on the original Halloween and lots of other John Carpenter classics. This Blu-ray presentation really brings the excellent lighting and cinematography to life. I really liked the two leads, Carter and Howard. As I said, they are both well played. Everyone else is pretty forgettable, with the exception of the creature, of course, who is played by Katrine Alexandre. She really does an excellent job with her mannerisms and movements as the creature. A few minor pacing issues aside, I'm happy to say that this film still holds up. It's a lot of fun and I'm so happy to have it on Blu-ray now. Unearthed Films did an amazing job with the new transfer. The film looks excellent. As I stated earlier, the mono track is crisp and clear with no issues at all. But it is a shame about the 5.1 track being messed up. The Blu-ray has interviews with pretty much the entire cast, and they are long and in-depth. I was a little put off by the format at first, but once you hang in there, you get used to it, and it's fine. There's also a fun group commentary track, and a nice collection of still photos. This release also includes a limited edition slipcover with excellent new cover art. The Unnamable is a movie I've been waiting for on Blu-ray for years, and I'm happy to say that Unearthed Films has really delivered a great package here. The picture is flawless, and all the gore is intact in its fully uncut glory. The big problem, of course, is that 5.1 audio track. I can see how people with nice sound systems would be upset, and it is a pretty big screw-up. I personally am fine with the mono track, but I'm guessing Unearthed Films will eventually have some kind of replacement disc program. Until then, I'm extremely happy with this release. Now, if we can just get a Blu-ray release of the excellent sequel, I can die a happy man.